Pixels Beneath the Tree, an Atari Christmas in the early 80s. The early 1980s, a time of feathered hair, snug jeans, and when wireless simply meant the cord wasn't long enough to avoid tripping your dad en route to the recliner. It was also the heyday of Christmas mornings, when Santa didn't drop digital download codes, but instead left behind tangible, boxy treasures with that intoxicating new plastic smell and boundless potential. For kids of that era, one holy grail could define your entire December: the Atari game console. The build-up, anticipation in overdrive. The excitement didn't start in December. It began the moment you saw those mesmerizing commercials. On screen, groups of kids gathered around the warm glow of the television, gripping joysticks with the seriousness of astronauts guiding spacecraft. The announcer teased a galaxy of games: Space Invaders, Asteroids, Pac-Man. The graphics might have been blocky blobs chasing other blocky blobs, but to our 8-year-old eyes, it was pure genius. In the weeks leading up to Christmas, we dropped subtle hints to our parents. Subtle in the same way a tuba is subtle in a library. Hey Mom, I read that Atari can really sharpen your hand-eye coordination. Great for school, right? Or, Dad, the joystick's good for developing motor skills. It's practically a learning device. We were pint-sized campaigners for pixelated dreams. The big morning, a glowing revelation. Christmas morning felt like something reserved for monarchs. The living room sparkled with lights, tinsel, and a popcorn garland half eaten by the family dog. We sifted through stacks of sweaters and socks, feigning gratitude. Yes, Grandma, tube socks are perfect. Until there it was. A box. A rectangular box, cloaked in foil wrapping that shimmered like it held secrets. The weight, the proportions unmistakable. You tore through the paper and found it. The Atari 2600. Sleek and black with a faux wood finish, because obviously wood grain was the future in the early 80s. The joysticks, elegant in their simplicity, destined to endure until their demise during track and field. The cartridges, bulky little gateways to other universes. It wasn't just a present, it was a leap forward in lifestyle. The setup, a full family mission. You didn't just plug it in and go. Nope. Booting up the Atari was akin to launching a space shuttle. The box got hauled to the family television, a 200-pound zenith shrine to entertainment, and the sequence began. Step 1, attach the switch box. Step 2, locate the elusive TV game toggle. Step 3, wrestle with the rabbit ears until the static looked marginally less like a snowstorm. Step 4, hope for the best. Everyone gathered like engineers at a rocket launch. Dad tangled with wires. Mom wondered aloud if the TV would survive. You, buzzing from sugar cookies, loaded the cartridge with quivering anticipation. Then, ignition. The screen came alive. A flash of blocky branding, a beep, a boop, and you were gone. Sailing through space, dodging digital meteors, joystick in hand, like a futuristic sword. The games, 4-bit enchantment. To today's eyes, it was comically primitive. Colored rectangles masquerading as tanks, spaceships, or athletes. But to us, it was wizardry. Space Invaders wasn't just aliens, it was a last stand for Earth. Pitfall wasn't a blob of pixels, it was the jungle adventure of Indiana Jones' distant cousin. Pac-Man wasn't munching dots, it was a psychological thriller, a battle of wits and ghosts. We didn't mind that Pac-Man's map looked like a waffle iron, or that E.T. had a plot that made 0 sense. We had power. For the first time, the TV didn't just tell stories, we were the ones writing them. The family effect, together 1980s style. Atari wasn't just for kids, it was a living room event. Dad insisted his reflexes were sharper than yours, only to crash his spaceship instantly. Mom tried Breakout, called it quote-unquote too violent, and retreated to her crossword puzzle. Even Grandma gave bowling a shot, though she complained the joystick didn't feel right. For that one perfect day, the Atari drew everyone into the same room. There was laughter, yelling, blame placed squarely on the controller. It was chaos, it was bonding, it was family. The afterglow, becoming a gamer. Atari wasn't just a present, it was a badge of honor. When school resumed in January, you walked into the lunchroom with the confidence of someone who had faced asteroids and won. The Atari-less kids gathered to hear your tales, as if you journeyed beyond the stars. Yeah, my dad and I played combat. Dogfights, tanks, it got intense. Man, I've got adventure. You fight a dragon, and there's even a hidden room. You weren't just a kid anymore, you were a digital pioneer. The magic that remains. Sure, the graphics were choppy and the controllers clunky, but to those of us who unwrapped an Atari on Christmas morning in the early 80s, it was a miracle. Proof that joy could be boxed and bowed. That family could come together around a single glowing screen. That happiness sometimes arrived on 4-bit cartridges. Today, kids unwrap PS5s or Nintendo Switches and enter worlds so real you can see a virtual sweat. But nothing, absolutely nothing, beats that first spark when the Atari buzzed to life and handed us the keys to a new universe. It wasn't just a console, it was childhood, wrapped in shiny paper and infinite dreams.